Hey, what's up, everybody? We are here for another interview. We are with Heather Herlong from Heather Herlong Events. Heather, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Happy Red Friday.
All right, great. Okay, well, let's jump right into it. Just talk to us about your business. What you do, how you got started, and how long you've been doing it, and just tell us all that good stuff.
Okay, good. Okay, so I have about 15 years experience. My original company was an organizing company that I started in 2005. And I was helping small businesses and startups get organized for setting up their business. And then somehow I just, they needed help with their events. You know, most small businesses have multiple events each year, and they were in so much need of technology. And you got to remember, back in 2005, we didn't have Facebook, and we didn't have all these cool, technical gadgets that we have now that can be very assisting in the process. So back then, it was on a very let's see, how would you say, caveman way of doing things, but it was doable. And so as I grew, I ended up doing just events for them, because like I said, they were having 5 and 6 and 10 events a year, and they wanted to save on budget. They wanted to save on, be efficient. They wanted more engagement, and they needed help with all these processes. So probably about 2012, I realized that this was really a big deal. A lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, and just general professionals that were out there, wanted to have a better experience with their events and have them be more successful.
Hmm.
So I kept my clients that I had in 2012, made them, once I got them set up, I made them part-time, so that it was more like consulting with them, because once we got them set up, it was much easier to, to be that consultant figure. I went back into the industry of events. I went from an intern with Hilton Americas to running my own department with Bon Appetit out of California. Within about 4 or 5 years, I really wanted to hone in and get to know the industry from both sides, because I hear my clients saying, I need help, I need help. But I wanted the same kind of assistance that these big companies were able to give their clients, and smaller businesses weren't able to reach those kind of resources.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it worked out great. And so then I decided in 2018, okay, we've got the background, we've got the tools, the technology had caught up with us by then. So we were able, even though we were small business in 2018, we were able to have access to all these super awesome technology and apps that the big boxes had, that the big corporations had. And we're like, okay, now we're in the game, and so it just flourished from there. So 2018, I transferred everything from the original organizing business and relicensed it and rebranded, so that I could help professionals in their busy, super super crazy schedule life, and small businesses, so that we could hone in and help them become more sustainable in their events. And we've been doing Heather Herlong Events since 2018.
Cool, cool. So you're mainly doing, like events for businesses, and entrepreneurs, or what does that
Well,
look like?
that's what we specialized in. But what we found over the last 2 years is, once we gained those relationships with small business owners and entrepreneurs, and also nonprofits. We help out a lot with
Oh yeah.
nonprofits too. Uh, we also, because of that relationship that we have, they're like, oh my God, Heather, I need help with my dad's 60th birthday party, or hey Heather, we need an anniversary party for
Oh, cool.
one of our employees. So it kind of just grew from there. And because we got so how would you say it? I guess focused. Our core beliefs are design, plan, and coordinate. And for the average person, yeah, we can design and make colors for you, and we can pick out the prettiest flowers, and we can find the best vendors for you. That's expected in the industry. But
Right.
how we take that design plan and coordinate even further is, let's look at the big picture. Let's look at your engagements. Is this going to be a single event, or are you planning on having an event every year? And is it just holiday season, or is it, birthdays, or increasing your employee engagement, or those fundraiser events? Are you really making that money work for you with your fundraising events? So it just kind of mushroomed, and we're so grateful for it, because being able to help people for different kinds of reasons just makes that relationship stronger and stronger and stronger.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. Sounds like that's really grown. So talk to us about, obviously, and I'm just taking a stab here, but I'm sure business has slowed down a little bit, at least, in the past couple months. So talk to us about what that's looked like, and what types of things it's allowed you to do, or how you've had, come up with some workarounds, in terms of revenue, or something like that. Just talk to us about that a little bit.
Okay. Okay. So going into February, our calendar was just under 75% full. Then, the invisible enemy came into the picture, and we noticed that people started to panic
Mm,
about their events, not just because of the social distancing, but also because of the money. You know,
mm,
having to lay off a lot of your employees or furlough a lot of your employees really created that financial uh, panic. So how we pivoted was, so anyway, so we went from just under 75% full calendar to one event, which was a little shocker. But, you know, because I've been in the business for, about 15 years, I saw this as a blessing and an opportunity to kind of work on the projects. For one, work on the projects that we weren't able to do with a full calendar,
right.
and two, be able to pivot to um, to build more relationships and to connect more people, so that they can build more relationships on the downtime.
Mm,
So with that design, plan, coordinate philosophy, we created a group for the pivot for people to recognize and recommend their favorite small businesses,
oh,
where
cool.
they can, yeah, where they can just throw it out there and recommend. When we started the group, we have 65 members now. But what's interesting, and what most people don't realize about the analytics, and I'm sure that you understand this, is that it doesn't really matter how many members you have. It's the views, and it's the
Hmm.
participation, and it's the engagement that you're receiving. And the first month, I mean, we've only been doing it now for 5 weeks. Okay. So I gauged the analytics at 3 weeks, and then again at 5 weeks. And let me tell you something, it was pretty amazing. Like I said, we have 65 members for this group, but we went from, within the first 30 days, we went from 0 to 500 views per day.
Wow.
Okay. And then, yeah, and then at the end of the 5 weeks, we're up to 1,200 views per day. So on the really big picture, whoever recommends their favorites, their bakery or their donut shop, or even the people that they use to change their tires,
Yeah.
just by recommending those favorite people those small businesses that they use all the time, is really enhancing those small businesses and getting the word out, because 1,200 views a day is 1,200 views a day for
Yeah.
free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that was one of those things that we really, as a company, wanted to do, because we believe so much in sharing small business relationships, that we wanted to make sure that that got out there. The
Yeah.
second pivot was those special projects that we wanted to always work on. When being in business for so long, having a business plan is so very important. But to take it one step further, to write an operations manual is so very important, especially if you're wanting to grow as a business, as a small business. My game plan for Heather Herlong Events is, in the next 3 years, I want to hire more planners. We have a standby and a temporary group of women and men that are our coordinators. So they get hired per event, depending on what the event requires. But we want to bring on some full-time planners so that we can spread the word and get out there. I mean, there's so many nonprofits that need help. There's so many small business owners that don't even realize that there's so much technology out there for them, that we want to get the word out. So that's our game plan. So being able to write that operations manual step by step of how we do things, step by step of why we do things, what we're trying to accomplish, who we're trying to support, was very important to me. And then, of course, I brought on an administrative assistant when all of this stuff happened. So that manual was used on the administrative assistant for operations training. So then that made it so much easier, one-stop shop, and it's just been a blessing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's good. I've definitely heard from a lot of people that they're using the time to definitely do things that they haven't been able to do, that they know they've needed to do for a while, and so that's good to hear. Talk to us about, besides this, the past couple months or whatever, just this industry, starting a business in this industry. What are the obstacles that you've had to overcome, and what are your biggest pain points for this industry, and how have you overcome those?
Overcome just opening up the small business, you mean? Or for the industry, or both?
Not that, yeah, just working and running a business in this industry, not necessarily opening the business up, but for those of us like me who have zero idea what it takes to plan an event or be an event planner and get customers for that want you to help them plan their event, those day-to-day type tasks.
Okay, so let's see. Some obstacles were, one of the biggest projects that I took on, making sure now that we have so much technology, there is so much technology around events out there. Every website has, some kind of do-it-yourself, app or spreadsheet or whatever. And so my biggest obstacle was taking a look at what the industry offered as a whole, but gauging it, because just because you have a cool app doesn't mean it really works for you.
Right.
Let's see, who was it? Social Tables, which is an app for creating diagrams for your event, which I love Social Tables. But they did a study at the end of last year, which really made me think about overcoming this obstacle, was that the average event planner for 2019 spent 120 hours per event. Now, if you have a full calendar and you're dividing 120, that was the average. And I'm going, what? Okay, that's a problem for me, because I'm all about efficiency and getting organized. I don't want to spend, if I don't have to, I don't want to spend 120 hours when I can spend 60. Do you know what I mean? And not only that, for the client, with all of these apps that are out there, my goodness, and they don't have a background in the industry, so they're not necessarily have all the tricks of the trade in their back pocket. I can't imagine how many hours they would spend and how overwhelming and stressful that would feel. So that was one of the biggest industry issues that I wanted to conquer. So cool. then I decided to go after, like I said, I gauged all the different kind of apps, and then it, rated them on efficiency and how they could help the individual person versus how they could help a small business. And then we went after those software companies and said, hey, we like what you're doing. You're so efficient, and cut down on that extra time spent, and we hired them so that we could have those tools to offer our clients.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. How about we talk about so if I'm a customer or I'm a potential client who wants to have an event, why would I choose you? What are the things that you do best, that your company does best, over the other companies in the marketplace?
Okay. Okay. So, the industry is, they say, I don't necessarily believe it, but they say that the industry is saturated with planners. Um, I kind of disagree. I can see where they're coming from. But what my company sets apart from the average is that we're not just looking at your one-time event. A lot of clients come to me and go, okay, we're going to have a holiday party, and this is what I want. And yes, that's great, but they haven't really considered their true expectation of the event, because this isn't rocket science. You can, and I'll be the first one to admit, it's not any different than, why would you hire someone to detail your car? It's not because you can't learn how to do it. It's not because you can't necessarily, based on your priorities, can't make the time for it. But what sets you apart is your ability to really customize what that client is really looking for. Because when it comes down to it, events aren't just about having pretty flowers. Events aren't just about making sure everybody has a seat at the table, or having some, grand menu selection. Events are about engagement and relationship building. So we're able to customize not only what the client is looking for one specific event, but we're able to hone in on their personalities. Do they need, if they're a small business owner, do they need elevation with their company's recognition and reputation? Do they need to, is this a marketing issue? Is this a fundraiser issue? We truly get down in the trenches with our clients and find out what their purpose is.
Right.
Because, like I said, anybody can, there's thousands of, just in our area, there are thousands of florists. Well, yes, but and anybody can pick those flowers. Flowers are already beautiful. You don't have to make them any more beautiful than they already are, right? But making sure that the whole picture of what you're trying to accomplish is fulfilled just totally increases the success of your event, no matter what kind of event it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I definitely would not have thought about that. All right, last question here. Let's talk about, take us back to 2018, and you're just now starting a business. Now, obviously, you had industry experience that helped you out a lot. But for somebody who not necessarily was starting an event planning business, but for somebody who's just starting a business, what would you have focused on maybe more that you didn't, or some things that you might have done differently? So give us a little insight to that.
I would definitely say that writing a business plan is the most important. Now, they have templates everywhere, but writing it and rewriting it multiple times to truly get what you want to accomplish down on paper, so that you can stay focused in that direction, is really important. 2, budgeting. Budget. My business, one of the most important things for me is I wanted a debt-free business.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be sustainable over long term, so that if something like, not that we could ever predict something like this,
right,
but even with this happening, and that I lost just under 75% of my, scheduled business for the year, it didn't hurt me one bit, because I had my finances in order already. I think that's just as important as knowing what direction you're going in, right? And 3, I would have wished that, even though this was a blessing for us to do our operations manual, it really got me to thinking of how I really wanted to deal with, or how I wanted to operate. I like efficiency. I like easy. I like tools that actually work and don't create more work for me. If if you
Yeah.
have to go to 12 million pages just to fulfill something, that's a waste of time for me. So, and with the 120 hours per event, I'm not having it. So I think that operations manual is just as important, because then it's so easy, if you have an interview like this, or if you go to a business meeting, your business plan, your focus is there, your budget, you know how much money you can spend and how much money you need, and you know all those numbers, know your numbers. And then how you're going to get there is so important for any business owner. And I'm talking about, I mean, I even write down, I wrote down how we're going to post on Facebook. That's how detailed I got. Just
Yeah.
because, and then as you grow, every year you update it. And then as you grow, it's so much easier to hand over a manual to someone to train than it is, oh, well, just follow me around and hope you can catch on real quick. That's not sensible for small businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people find, when they get into going from being solopreneur to, starting to hire people and learning how to make those operations efficient, to where you don't have to be training every person individually and you're the only one that can do it, and starting to be able to give those tasks to other people. So that's
Yes.
good.
Well, yeah, and letting go, because when
Yeah.
you start out singly, I mean, this is my baby. I can't believe you're going to touch it, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
No, only I can do it this way. When you
Right.
have that manual, it actually helps the owner let go a little
Yeah.
bit, because you
Yeah.
have
That's good.
something to gauge it by.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Super good information. Thank you so much for joining us, and I really
Oh,
enjoyed
thank
it.
you.
And
Thank
I
you. I
hope,
did too.
good, good. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right.
Make some
Thanks. Hey,
memories.
for sure. Hey guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed the interview. We're wide open for next week. If you want some free eyeballs on your business, I'd love to talk to you about it and get you set up with an interview next week. And we will see y'all next time.